Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Everett Memorial Stadium for Division 8 North semifinals. Pope John, the number 1 seed, taking on Lynn Tech, the number 4 seed. Tech 6-2, Pope John 8-0. And this is normally where Everett plays their football games. Pope John, obviously from Everett, plays their home games here. Tech is going to kick it off. Badawi will do the honors. The winner will move on to the division final. The loser will move into the non-playoff berth. Tech still has an outside shot of possibly playing in the vocational tournament that they've won a few times under Gary Zaverka and also under present coach James Runner. Badawi boots it off all the way back to the 10-yard line. And a pretty good return by John Smith Howell. From the 10-yard line. Out to the 33. And they come right out to the line of scrimmage. They go in the spread. Double wideouts to either side. First play of the ball game. Motion coming. Now we got a whistle. And Pope John wants a timeout. Coach saw something from the sideline. He didn't like what that set up. So a 23-yard return by John Smith Howell gets Pope John their first field position at their own 33-yard line. Now they go motion to the near side. They give it to the motion man. Coming to the near side, turns the corner, gets bumped out of bounds across the 40-yard line. That's Jesus Rivera. They give him out to the 42. He picked up 9. Second and a yard. Motion again. They run it straight ahead with Rivera. Finds a hole. And that wasn't Rivera. That was John Smith Howell. Getting it to the Tech 47. 11 yards and a first down. Actually, give him the 46. So give him 12 yards and a first down. Motion. They give it to the motion man. Turn the corner, getting upfield. That's Rashad John. Getting it inside the 40-yard line of Tech. To the 39. They picked up 7. Now they put it right at the 40-yard line, so they picked up 6. Second and 4. Straight ahead with John Howell Smith. It should be a first down. They're checking it out. And it is a first down. They needed the 36 for first down. They got to the 36, so obviously it's a first down. opening drive of the ball game for Pope John. Having a very good year at 8-0. They send wideouts to either side. Standing up the middle, going to the near side, then cutting it back to the middle. And nice run, gets him inside the 30, and that's John Smith Howell. I'll call it the 29 and give him 7. Second down and 3. Rolling, looking, dumping it off. Looking for Greg Smith. First time they've thrown the ball, it's incomplete. He was open. They just threw a little too far. It'll be third down and 3. And there was a penalty on the play that I didn't see. They push it back to the 33. So it'll be third and 7. To keep by the quarterback, banging ahead inside the 30. That's Anthony MIAA. They put it to 27. He picked up 6. They need a yard. Off to the outside. Getting bumped out of bounds is John Smith Howell. He gets it to the 25 for 2. Another first down for Pope John. Eating up the clock, eating up yardage. Over the middle, picked off. Barrios with the pick. So they get a little bit greedy. They were running the ball very well. And they went upstairs, and Barrios made a terrific play. The ball's at the 7. So they stopped the drive, but they're stuck deep at their own 7-yard line. And Pope John will go on defense. And we're going to get a timeout. This is Division 8 North semifinal round. Tech knocked off Roxbury to get here. Going 6-2 on the season. Looking for their 7th win. Looking to get to division final. We come out of the timeout First and 10 for the Tigers at their own 7-yard line after the Barrios interception. He goes under center. But now he goes in motion. Coming to the near side and picking up short yardage is Elvin Gonzalez. Get out to the 9 for a pickup of 2. Second and 8 for the Tigers. Badawi again goes in motion. The pitch, turn the corner, getting across the 15. They put it at the 15. So it's going to be third and a couple. Big play here for the Tigers. They don't want to have to kick from their end zone. Again, Badawi goes in motion. They run straight ahead and they carry Ramirez for first down out across the 20. We'll call it the 20 and give him 5. The Tigers have their first down, so that was a big play. Actually put it to 25. He picked up 10. Shot yard is there for Ramirez again. There's a flag on the play, and it's going to be against Pope Join. It's a big one. It's a 15-yarder. They move it out to the 37-yard line. Well, that's their second first down. This one coming by penalty at the 37-yard line. Badawi can hit in the backfield, managed to go forward a little bit. Got back to the line of scrimmage. He looked like he was going to lose 2 or 3. So it'll be second and 10. This is a lateral. It's a running play. They're going to lose yardage. They get it to Hadir Badawi. They lose back to the 35, losing 2. That was actually a lateral, so it's a running play rather than a forward pass. So they lose 2 yards on the play. And it's going to be third down and 12. So another big play coming up for the Tigers here in the first period. Motion again to the near side. Barrios looking, rolling. Lets it fly long and deep. Just overthrew the intended receiver, Edward Cuevas. He had a step on the defense. And Tech will have to kick it away. Helped out by a penalty, but they couldn't convert. Pope John shuts them down, so both teams have turned the ball over. Now Tech is going to go for it, and they throw it incomplete. They faked the punt. Rolling the dice, James Runner went with a fake punt. And it's going to give Pope John terrific position at the Tech 35-yard line. So very early in the ball game, James Runner decides to go for it. And the pass was incomplete. They were looking for Edward Cuevas over on the sideline. And they threw it too far out over his head. And Pope John gets a huge break. They're going to have 35 yards to cover to try and get on the board first. But here the quarterback, Greg Smith in the backfield with him. Motion. They fake it to the motion man, and too many people in motion. It's going to cost Pope John. That'll cost them 5. They'll get pushed back to the 40. So penalties have hurt Pope John. They were moving the ball. With their opening possession, they come up with a big penalty, and it was a big 15-yarder. Now they get a 5-yard motion penalty. They also had a 15-yarder when Tech had the ball. So they've already got 35 yards in penalties, and we haven't played a full period. The quick out, caught, slips a couple of tackles down the sideline. Near the 20-yard line, Greg Smith with the catch. They put it to 21, 19 yards and a first down. Starting to the near side. Spinning, getting inside the 20 is Rivera. He picked up 2. Second down and 8. Pope John trying to take advantage of an incomplete pass on a fake punt. And now the quarterback, MIAA, runs it down to the 15. Picked up 4. Third and 4. I think we had a 30-second timeout. Second possession for Pope John. They got it down, turning it over. They got it down to 25, running the football. They try to go upstairs, and Barrios picked it off, ending the drive. Tech picked up a couple of first downs, one off a 15-yard penalty against Pope John. Now we're going to make it a full timeout. Second possession for Pope John. They have it, their deepest penetration, they have it at the 15-yard line of Tech with a 2nd down and 4 upcoming after the timeout. Tech, we mentioned, still open for a mass vocational bid. That's still on the line. Tech and St. Mary's, the two teams left in what you call the tournament. Glassville never made it, which was, I think, a tragedy. At 4-3, they had a very good year. Brian Vaughan, they should have made it. English made it and wound up getting beat by Danvers. Little misdirection play as they get down near the 5-yard line. That's Greg Smith. They put it at the 7. He picked up 8 for a first down. So the ball's at the 7. Smith looking for a touchdown, and he's in. Well, Pope John gets on the board first. Helped out by that fake punt. They only had to go 35 yards. And they actually have to go 40 yards because they had that 5-yard penalty. So 35 yards they get credit for in 5 plays. The big play in the drive, the 19-yard pass to Smith. Now they try to run it in. Rush is no good. So Pope John will kick it off. And the Tigers now have to come back from a deficit, trailing 6-0 here in the first period. Plenty of football left. Eric Flores will kick it off for Pope John. Picked up at the 20-yard line and slipping and going down. Getting across the 30. And that was Giuliani. They're going to give him the 33. So they have a little better position to start their second drive. They started their first on their 7-yard line after the pick by Barrios. Now they start at their 33. The difference is they're trailing 6-0. As Barrios brings the play back to the huddle. A chilly night here at Everett Memorial Stadium. A wideout goes to the far side. They give it to Bono. And they give him the 35 for 2. Second and 8 for the Tigers. The wideout comes to the near side. Everybody else in tight. Motion. They pitch it. Padawi, the motion man. Pope John does a great job of stacking it up. Had nowhere to go. They took out the blockers. They took out Padawi. They put it back at the 32. They lost 3. Well, it's going to be 3rd down and 11. As we come to the close of the first period. Fast-paced first period. Both teams have had the ball twice. Pope John got a big break. Tech went for it on 4th down from their 35. And it was 4th and long. And they threw it out. They threw it incomplete. Pope John took over. It took them 5 players to go down and score. And it was Greg Smith going in from the 7 to make it 6-0, and that's where we are. We'll start the second period. And Tech has the football, but they have it 3rd and 11. Feels like old home week here at Everett Memorial Stadium. I do the Everett football games on their TV station, and so I've been here many times. First time I've been here for Lynn Tech. Coach Runner doing a nice job again. He had a few coming back from last year. Not a lot of experience back. And he's managed to go 6-2. And I know a lot of coaches who would like to be 6-2 at this point and still in the tournament. And are on the outside looking in. Tech took a 30-second timeout. Barrios will now bring the play back to the huddle. Another big play because plenty from here. Pope John without a run back would get good field position. With any kind of run back, they could get very good field position. The wideout goes to the far side. Barrios looking to throw. Incomplete, threw it in a crowd. Looking for Badawi. But they had Badawi and Ramirez both in the same spot. I don't think that was supposed to happen. Way downfield, we had a Tech player down. I didn't notice that because he wasn't anywhere near the play. I don't know if that's Cuevas, the wideout, who went deep. And they're working on, looks like his left ankle or foot. we certainly hope he's going to be okay. The last thing I want to see is anybody get hurt. Few spectators here for this one. On a rare Saturday game here at Everett Memorial Stadium. And weather that's not really suitable to sitting outside, even for ardent football fans. Getting up, and let's hope he's okay. It wasn't Cuevas. So Tech will kick it away. Short kick takes a very good bounce at the 38-yard line. Picking it up was Rivera. He gives him a couple of extra yards. He picked it up at the 38. Gets it to the 43. So they don't have as good a field position as they had there last time, but they got still pretty good field position at their 43-yard line. Turn the corner to the outside with a head of steam up. He's got room down the sideline. Finally gets bumped out by Gonzalez. That was John Smith Howell. Picking up a big first down. Down to the Tech 37. 20 yards on the play. Three wideouts to their side, one to the far side. They give it to him again. He started up the middle, looked like he would stop cold, and then bounced to the outside and gets inside the 30. Down to the 26, he picked up 11 more, another first down, back-to-back first downs, 31 yards picked up by John Smith Howell. And Pope John's knocking on the door. That was a lateral. Good thing it went out of bounds. He threw it over the head of Greg Smith. I don't know if they would have called that a forward pass or not. Is that the quarterback that's down? Face flat on the turf. He's getting up. MIAA, that was the quarterback that got drilled. So Stephen Gaskell is the new quarterback, I think. He has to go out for at least one play. Now we're going to get a timeout. Now he could come back if he's okay. Two big running plays by John Smith Howell has put Pope John back deep in Tech territory at the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. I don't know if they would have called that an incomplete pass or not. They threw it behind the receiver over the head of Rashad John. it went out of bounds anyway, but they didn't move it back line scrimmage, so they called it incomplete pass. It sure looked like a lateral. Looked like they threw it behind the receiver, behind the quarterback. But obviously they called it an incomplete pass because they put it back at the 26, where it's now 2nd and 10. So we're back to football. And MIAA is back in the ball game. And they give it again. John Smith Howell. Little extracurricular activity over there. Let's see where they're putting the football. One referee is standing at the 26th, the original line of scrimmage. They're discussing where they're going to put the football. They put it at the 24, so they give him 2. Third and 8. MIAA with the keep. Gets a full head of steam up, gets inside the 15-yard line. More than enough for the first down. They put it at the 13, so he picked up 11. They give it to the motion man, trying to cut it up inside, not going to go anywhere. Flag on the play against Tech. And a little extracurricular activity as Rashad John lost his helmet. I think that's going to be against Tech. The ball is laying at the 19-yard line. Closer to the 18, I guess. But now the officials are discussing, I don't know what they're going to call, maybe a face mask. Now they're measuring it off from the 16-yard line. Is where they're standing, and that would be half the distance they put it to the 8. Well, they lost 3 on the play. And Tech now gets penalized to the 8-yard line, and they're going to go back the other way, 15 yards. It winds up back at the 31. So the retaliation, it gives Pope John a first down. They marked it off from the 16-yard line, though. So the ball's at the 31. They run straight ahead, slipping a couple of tackles, stepping over everybody, and getting down to about the 6, actually about the 11. 20-yard pickup. They go very quickly. They give it to Smith again. Inside the 10. Hard to pick up the yard markers down there with all the soccer and lacrosse markers. Give him 4 to 7. Second and 6 for a first down. Second and 7 for a touchdown. They fill the backfield now with MIAA. Bouncing ahead is John Smith Howell. He gets down. We'll call it the 2. Straight ahead into the end zone for the touchdown. John Smith Howell makes it 12-0 Pope John. "57 yards in 10 plays. They overcome that big penalty. And Eric Flores will look to kick the extra point. And it's blocked. There's a struggle for the football because they can run it back, but nobody going anywhere. So they ate up the yardage, they ate up the clock, they grab a 12-0 lead. Here in the second period, 148 yards of offense for Pope John, 12 for Tech. They have 2 first downs, one of them a penalty against Pope John. And Tech is going to dig themselves out of a hole. Tech's started to go the other way, but now they recoup. Pope John will come out, they'll get ready to kick it off. So Greg Smith, John Smith Howell have run for the 2 touchdowns. John Smith Howell has rushed for 59. Greg Smith has rushed for 27. Actually 31. Flores kicks it off. Now at the 12-yard line. Yeah, nice return across the 30. Elvin Gonzalez gives Tech decent field position to start their drive. Nice return. And put it, I think, right at the 30-yard line. So Tech has to go to work on offense. Trailing now by 2 scores. But a lot of football left to play. send 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. Barrios goes under center. Trying to come to the near side, not going anywhere. Giuliani got buried in the backfield. We'll call it a loss of a yard. Lost a yard and a foot. We'll call it a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 for the Tigers. Wideouts right and left. Barrios rolling, looking, lets it fly deep. Threw it too far, got tipped, almost intercepted, and then I think it was Cuevas that almost came up with the catch. So it's 3rd and 11. Goes to the workhouse. He gets the call, goes to the sideline, and he has to hustle back to the huddle to give it to everybody else. Gets a good workout through all these games. Outstanding young man, great student. I think he's the #1 student in the class. Rolling, looking, in trouble, in a lot of trouble, and goes down at the 25-yard line. Couldn't get loose. Pope John all over him. They put it at the 26. They lose 3. So it's going to be 4th and 14. They're going to have to kick it away again. It got kicked. I thought they were going to, the official threw the flag. I thought it was dead when Tech touched it. They threw the flag indicating that it bounced. I guess Tech didn't get possession. It just bounced off Tech. So John Smith Howell very alertly scooped it up. And he returns it inside the 40-yard line. I think they're discussing it now. I think it's because Tech didn't get possession. I thought all they had to do was just down it. So a huge break. Are they bringing the ball back now? They are. There's another 15-yard penalty against Pope John, that's why. Actually, a 10-yard penalty. Bouncing off the left side. Can hit the line of scrimmage. So it was a holding penalty against Pope John on the run back. Now they pick up 2 to the 45. So they still have very good field position. 2nd and 8. But he is virtually in the backfield by themselves. They have 2 wings and 2 wideouts. Now motion coming to the near side. They fake it. He runs straight ahead. Gets a couple and gets pushed back, and then there's a kind of a pileup. And again, a little extracurricular activity at the end of the play. You have to peel people off. They put it at the 43, picked up 2. 3rd and 6. Three wideouts to the near side, 2 to the far side. Mejia by himself in the backfield. Motion. They give it to the motion man. Cuts it up inside. Nice run, very nice run. Still on his feet to about the 30-yard line. Rashad John, that was supposed to come to the near side. He cut it back up inside and then broke it all the way to the far side. He picked up 12 yards on a first down. Over the middle, he had plenty of time to throw the ball. Rivera with the catch. As they get down to the 19, 12 more on a first down. First and 10 from the 19. Pope John on the move again in the red zone. Bouncing it to the outside, cutting it back, all the way back to the near side. Almost lost the football, and he walks in for a touchdown. And there's a flag as Tech hit him about 15 yards out of play and knocked him down. Very nice run by John Smith Howell. He ran a long way to run 19 yards. He's closing in on 100 yards. Started up the middle, broke it to the outside, cut it back to the middle, and then cut it all the way back to the near corner and went in. And after he got about 10 yards out of bounds, one of the Tech players gave him a shot, and that's going to cost Tech. So they get credit for 37. They had to go 47 with the penalty. 5 plays. They run straight ahead. They don't get in. So the only thing Pope John hasn't done is convert the extra points. They lead now 18-0. They're 5 yards shy of 200 yards of offense. And he'll kick it off again. And once again, it'll be Eric Flores kicking it off to the Tech Tigers, who have found themselves in a very big hole. They have 2 first downs up to this point, and it's not going to get any better. That bump out of bounds cost them 15 yards. Pope John will kick off from the Tech 45. They've got 2 first downs. 1 was a penalty, and they only have 8 yards of offense. They knock it deep, and I don't know why they're running it out. They could have got it at the 20-yard line. They're going to be shy of the 20. I think they could have got it to 25, I think. They put it at the 14. So it doesn't get any easier for the Tigers. They got to find a key to unlock their offense. They can't get anything going. They got a first down on the 3rd play of their first possession. The only other one they got was a penalty against Pope John. Looking to throw, they blow the whistle. And we got a flag on the play. And that's going to be against Tech and push them 5 yards further back. They move it back to the 9. 1st and 15. From the spread, Barrios lets it fly too far. He was looking for Gonzalez down the middle. It'll be 2nd and 15. Pope John a touchdown on their second possession, and now they've scored 2 in a row here in the second period to grab an 18-0 lead. And Tech just can't get anything going. Two wideouts to the far side, one to the near side. They run it straight ahead. The ball taken away right into the hands. Jesus Rivera, I don't know if he stole it or it popped up in his hands, but he picked it off right at the 16-yard line, and he runs it in for a touchdown. So they gained 7 yards on the play to the 16-yard line, but then the ball was either taken away or popped loose right into the hands of Jesus Rivera, who returns the fumble 16 yards. And they'll look for the extra point with Flores. And the guy that scored the touchdown, Rivera, is the holder. So the score has jumped to 24-0 here in the second period. Tech is going to need a major second half. They snap it by, they fake the kick, and they throw it in the end zone. It's picked off. You could have run it back for 2 points. So he snapped it right to the kicker Flores to throw a pass in the end zone, trying to fake Tech out. So again, the only thing negative on the Pope John sheet are the extra points. And once again, they'll kick it off. So they make it 3 straight touchdowns with the fumble return. As we're late in the second period. And once again, Pope John will kick it off. Tech will get the ball to start the second half, but the way the offense is going, they got a lot to talk about at halftime. They pooch it up. They didn't kick it deep. And Tech will get it close to the 35. I think they're going to put it at the 34-yard line. The wind is blowing pretty good. It's cold out there. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 34-yard line. They'd like to get something going here just to carry it over to halftime so they can maybe get something going in the second half. The offense has been virtually nil. Low snap. Barrios going to get knocked down at the 30-yard line. I'm going to call it the 30 and make it -4. Second and 14. High snap. I think the receiver, who was Thatch, was looking inside, and he had to stretch across because the pass was to the outside. And it goes incomplete, and it's 3rd and 14. And this has been the story for Tech through this first half. Double wideouts to either side. Barrios in trouble. Takes off and runs with it. Gets it across the 35, but nowhere near a first down. We have a timeout called by Pope John, hoping to get the football back before the clock runs out. Barrios picked up 6. But it's going to be 4th and 8 for the Tigers. "17 yards rushing, 0 yards passing, 2 first downs, one of them by penalty." And that's been the first half for the Tigers. Pope John has shut them down. They've driven for 3, and they picked off a fumble for 16 and a touchdown, and they built up a 24-0 lead. This Pope John team only has 6 seniors. They're a young team that John Smith Howell is only a sophomore. The kick is away. They let it bounce. It takes a good tech bounce inside the 30. They fall on it at about the 28. And that's where Pope John will put it in play. All Pope John here in this first half, especially the second period. They get 3 touchdowns in the second period. MIAA with John Smith Howell. And now they take a knee, and that's going to end the first half. So Pope John will be 5 yards shy of 200 yards. Tech will get the ball in the second half, but it's been an unbelievable first half for Pope John, as they put up 18 points in the second period after scoring a touchdown in the first period. They're leading Lynn Tech 24-0, as they're going to let the clock run out here and end this first half. So they'll go to the locker rooms, and they have an awful lot to talk about at halftime. Craig Smith with a touchdown. John Smith Howell with 2 touchdowns, and Rivera returning a fumble for a touchdown. The only negative I said on the Pope John side, they missed all of their conversions. And at halftime, Pope John leads Lynn Tech 24-0. As we get set to start the second half, Pope John will kick it off. Tech with 17 yards rushing, 2 first downs, one of them by penalty. And we get a big penalty on the kickoff. They move the ball down inside the 15-yard line to the 12. And that's where Tech will put it in play. So they're stuck again. They try to run it straight ahead, short yardage with Badawi. Got it out to the 17 for a pickup of 5. So second down and 5. Three wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. Barrios looking. Lets it fly. Incomplete. So third down again for the Tigers. Actually, they called that pass complete. I thought they said incomplete. So he picked up 8 yards on a first down. The ball's at the 25. I thought I saw the official say no catch. The ball pops loose. Barrios gets it back, and he's going to lose. The ball goes out of bounds. They didn't have it. Pope John thought they recovered it. They never had possession. They were looking to get it. It got deflected and went out of bounds at the 14-yard line. They lose 11 yards on the play. So it's going to be 2nd and 21. Pope John almost came up with it again. They popped the ball loose. Barrios had problem with the snap, lost it. Pope John had it but couldn't control it, and luckily for Tech it went out of bounds, or Pope John will be knocking on the door again. They try to run straight ahead. They get piled up, and there's that pile again, pushing and shoving. They put it at the 15 for a yard. Third and 20 for Tech. Barrios lets it fly. Caught. Nice catch coming back inside 2 defenders. Nice job by Gonzalez. He was double covered. He stepped between both of them. Picks up 25 yards on the pass play. And they overcome 3rd and 20. They pick up 25 for a first down. Barrios incomplete over the middle. Looked like he almost thought about running with that one. The last second he threw it over the middle, but incomplete. Second and 10 for the Tigers. Opening possession of the second half. Pope John leading it by a comfortable 24-0. On a cold, windy night here at Everett Memorial Stadium. The handoff, powering his way. Could hit the line of scrimmage, carried a couple of people with him. Badawi managed to pick up a couple. Got to the 44, he picked up 4. So 3rd down and 6. I would bet that this would be 4-down territory. That's going to be a penalty against Tech. The wide out to the near side got an early jump. A little anxious to get out there and catch the pass. So we move it back to the 39. And now it's 3rd and 11. Tech is eating up some time here in this 3rd period, but they convert on a big 3rd and 20, but they have to get a little giddy up in their step if they want to have any chance of getting back in this game. Now, another flag. Pope John jump. Were they drawn offside, or did they draw Tech? It's going to cost Tech, I believe, 5 more. it's going to be 3rd and 16. Tech Cheers can't get anything going offensively. They get a play, and they take a step forward, but then they take 2 steps backwards. Double wideouts to either side. Barrios lets it fly long and deep, tipped and knocked away. Good defense by Jose Davila. And Tech is going to kick it away. I think they would have gone for it at 44, but Pope John will get it back. The kick takes a pretty good Tech bounce down to the Pope John 30-yard line. So Pope John will have it for the first time in the second half. They had a big first half and a very big second period. John Smith Howell has run for 2. Greg Smith ran it in. And then kind of a backbreaker. Jesus Rivera just at the end of the half picked off a fumble and ran it in. Mejia in the backfield by himself. Now they send motion. And a little misdirection. Getting across the 35 is John Smith Howell. They send the motion man to the near side, then Smith Howell back to the far side. He picked up 8. He needs 7 for 100 yards. Again, Mejia in the backfield by himself. Motion, that's gonna cost Pope John 5. I think they had 2 guys in motion. Leaning forward was Gaskell. Looking to go back in motion was Smith Howell. And it cost him 5. Back to the 33. So it'll be 2nd and 7. They fill the backfield now with Mejia. 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. They fake it. They give it to Smith. He gets across the 40. To the 42, he picked up 9. That gives him a first down. First and 10 from the 42. And there's Smith Howell sneaking into Tech territory. And that's going to put him over 100 yards. They give him to the 49 for a pickup of 7. And that gives him exactly 100 yards. Now they put it, they had it back at the 50, now they put it to 49. I was going to say they took a yard away, but he's exactly at 100 yards rushing. Three wideouts, two to the near side. Smith Howell again. Young man's only a sophomore. They give him 6 to the 43. We'll try and eating up the clock, eating up yardage, shortening the gain. We're eating it 24 to nothing. And we get a timeout. A long day so far for the Tigers. They only have 16 yards rushing, 49 yards of offense. They completed that big 25-yard pass. Barrios to Gonzalez. They only have 4 first downs, one of them by penalty against Pope John. They're minus 1 yard rushing here in the third period, but they picked up their 33 yards passing on their first possession. But then 2 big penalties after they had it. They had 3rd and 6. They were probably in 4-down territory, but they picked up 2 motion penalties that pushed them back, and they had to kick it away. And now Pope John has picked up a first down. Actually picked up 2 of them. And they have it 1st and 10 at the Tech 43. So Pope John in complete command here. If nothing else, they can run some time off the clock and shorten the game. They're looking to stay perfect. They're 8-0. They're in that Catholic Central League small. Tech out of the Commonwealth Conference small. Three wideouts, 2 to the near side. Smith in the backfield with MIAA. Last man through is John Smith Howell. Tech thought they took it away. They picked up, I'll call it the 38 and give him 5. Ball just inside the 38. Again, double wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. They dropped the ball. And they're going to fall on it. At the 39. Well, they lost 4. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9. Tech jump, but they got back. And now Pope John wants a timeout. those 30-second timeouts where only one player can go to the sideline on each team. Tech almost jumped on that play. They just got back. Here looking to throw. Lets it fly long and deep. Almost picked off. Tech player down. He went up in the air to knock it away and came down hard. And I hope that's just stretching that leg out for a cramp or whatever. I hope it's nothing serious. I think that's Gonzalez, if I'm reading the number correctly. He threw it deep down the near sideline. Tech had played it perfectly and knocked it away. And let's hope all it needs is a little bit of stretching out. And nothing more serious than that, because the last thing you want is, again, either team to get hurt. Pope John's got exactly 200 yards rushing. They're helping him out. He's not putting any weight at all. Now they're going to carry him out. And let's hope that Elvin Gonzalez is okay. He made a terrific defensive play to knock that ball away. And he was up in the air and he came down hard on the turf. So let's hope he's okay. And it brings up a 4th down. 4th and 9. Mejia runs it straight ahead. He's going to get a 1st down. So they go on 4th down. And he runs it to the 25. He picks up 14. Fifteenth first down in the ball game for Pope Join, and they're able to hold on to the football, move the stakes, run the clock, shrink the game, leading it 24-0. 5 wideouts, 3 to the near side. Mejia by himself in the backfield. We'll probably see motion out of this. We don't. He's throwing the ball. Picked off at the 5-yard line. All the way back to, is it the 41 or the 40? Second interception for the Tigers. And there's a penalty on the play, so that's going to push him back. With him marking off an awful lot of penalty yards. They had it at the 40-yard line. Now they're putting it down at the 6. So they shut the drive down. Somewhere along the way, there was a penalty against Tech that pushed them all the way back to the 6-yard line. Quick out, dropped. Second and 10. Big spot for Tech. You don't have to punt from here. They really don't want to punt at all. They want to get out and score and get back in the game, but they can't get their offense going. Not much going there. Just about back to the line of scrimmage. They lost a yard to the 5. That's going to do it for the third period. So a very quick third period. What a difference 3 periods make. Pope joined 245 yards of offense, 214 on the ground. Lynn Tech has 15 yards rushing, 33 yards passing for 48 yards. They have 4 first downs. One of those was a penalty against Pope Join on the opening drive. They just haven't been able to get anything going offensively. And obviously they're going to drop to 6 and 3, and they'll drop out of what I call the winner's bracket. They'll go into the non-playoff berth. I would guess they would have a home game, but I don't know who they will be playing because it depends on who wins and who loses. So St. Mary's boys will be the only team left locally. English Classical Tech will be gearing up for Thanksgiving Day. Tech will play Kip on Thanksgiving Eve, an early start at 6 o'clock. And they still have an outside shot of participating in the vocational tournament. We mentioned they've won that a couple of times, a few times, with Gary Zaverka and also with James Runner, the present coach, doing a great job. 3rd and 11. Barrios rolling to the near side. Dumps it underneath, incomplete. And Tech will kick it from their own end zone. And Pope John will get very good field position without a run back. Low snap to get the kick away. And it takes a little bit of a Pope John bounce. Only gets out to about the 26-yard line. And Pope John will have outstanding field position. "21-yard punt with no return." Pope John can put an exclamation point on this game right here. High snap. And that's John Smith Howell. Getting it, we'll call it the 20-yard line and give him 6. He's had a big game. Scored a couple of touchdowns, and he's rushed for over 100 yards. Second down and 4. Smith off the left side. Short yardage. Give me a yard to the 19. He's rushed for 43. Third and 3 for Pope John. High snap off MIAA. Tech says they have the football. And they do. Edward Cuevas. Back at the 24. So they overcome that short field, knocking the ball loose. The snap went over the head and off the fingertips of MIAA. He tried to fall on it, but Cuevas got there first. And Tech will take over at their 24-yard line. Now we got, I'm not sure what that was all about. They moved the ball back to the 24. I thought that's where the ball was going to be in the first place. It's nice to see Gonzalez back in the game. They lost a couple. Actually, they lost one on the pass. So it's going to be second down and 11. We're in the fourth and final period. Pope John put this one away, scoring 18 points in the second period after getting a touchdown in the opening period. Nobody has scored in the second half. Pope John's only had it twice. The second time they just fumbled it away. Barrios lets it fly long and deep, tipped and knocked away. Good defense by Rivera and John Smith Howell. They were both there. So 3rd and 11, and this has been the story. Most of the time it's been 3rd and long. Tech just has not been able to get any offense going at all. Greg Smith went in from the 7, John Howell Smith from the 2, John Howell Smith from the 19, and then Jesus Rivera returned a fumble 16 yards for a touchdown. And I mentioned before the only negatives, Pope John couldn't get any conversions. Barrios over the middle, caught to the 30-yard line. Now they're calling it incomplete. With the hit, looked like he had it, got hit, and couldn't hold on. And Tech will have to kick it away. This has been the story. They make 1 or 2 plays, and then they can't do anything more. Here's a really short kick off the side of the foot. It doesn't get out to the 30-yard line. Kicking into that wind, not easy. Out to the 28-yard line. That's a 5-yard punt. Kicking into that wind that's really blowing hard. So once again, right back in deep in Tech territory, Pope John has the ball. That's John Smith Howell. And here's Gonzalez again coming up and limping on that foot. Eight yards picked up. He's at 125 yards rushing. Late in the 4th period, 28-0. Pope John still has their starters in. They give it back to John Howell Smith. They give him a yard to the 19. It'll be 3rd down and a yard. They double the wideouts to either side. I don't think they're going to see the ball. Snap over Mejia's head again. That's about the 3rd or 4th time they snapped it over his head. And they've come close a couple of times to getting over his head. The ball goes back to the 31. They lost 12. Well, it's going to be 4th and 13. Again, a little extracurricular activity. You have to go get one of their players back from surrounded by Tech players. They need 14. Looking to throw. Caught, but dropped. Went right down at the 25-yard line. Get up to try to run with it. The catch by Gaskell. Down at the 25, they picked up 6. So Tech will take over at the 25-yard line. .250 yards of offense for Pope John. They try to run it straight ahead, not going anywhere. That's been kind of the story. That's Bono. Lost a yard. Winding down the regular season with everybody, we'll have one game left. The only team still active with a chance to go to the Super Bowl, St. Mary's boys. Classical never made it. English got beat last night. Tech is going to get knocked off tonight. Trying to turn the corner. Good hard run by Bono. Out to the 34-yard line. He picked up 10. That's the longest run of the day. They only had 15 yards rushing. Bono just picked up 10 on that play. They need a yard for a first down. So 3rd and a yard. Usually all day in this game has been 3rd and long. And they just barely got a yard, I think. That's Badawi. So that yard will give them a first down. And they're running the clock because we're winding down this 4th and final period. John Howell Smith with 2 touchdowns. Smith with a touchdown. Rivera with a fumble return. 18 points in the second half has been the difference. They trip him up in the backfield. That's Bono. He loses 2. .24 points in the first half, 18 in the second period by Pope John. Tech got into Pope John territory once. In fact, I take that back. They've never been in Pope John territory. Low snap to Barrios. Running with it. Looked like he just threw it out of bounds. I'll call it an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 from the 33. Tech is going to have to recuperate, try to get their offense back in track. They had none today at all, couldn't put anything together. They pick up a first down, then they go backwards. They had 2 first downs in their first drive. They had 2 first downs in their opening drive of the second half, and that's been it. And now Badawi's going to go backwards. Again, a little extracurricular activity afterwards. I don't think these two teams like each other. They lost 3. I'll give them the 32 and call it a loss of 2. Closing moments of this ball game. Tech is going to go to 6 and 3. Pope John is going to stay perfect at 9 and 0 as they just let the clock run out. Tech winds up with 21 yards rushing, 32 yards passing for 53 yards of offense, 5 first downs, 1 of them by penalty. John Howell Smith ran for 126. Smith ran for 43. Smith scored once. John Howell Smith scored 2. Rivera with the fumble recovery. Tech will now get knocked out. They will not have a shot at going to the Super Bowl. Pope John will stay perfect at 9 and 0. Tech will drop to 6 and 3. A big 18-point second period, the difference. Pope John shuts Lynn Tech out. They win it 24-0 to move on to the Division 8 finals. Trying to stay perfect at 9 and 0, 1 step away from Gillette and a Super Bowl berth. So 28-0, Pope John over Tech. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm Don Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.